Good morning, PHP family. I am stepping up my video game for you guys. I just got this nifty little tripod so you can actually sit here with me and have some morning coffee. Let's hang out. So I wanted to share a message with you this morning. You know, I should create some mornings from the porch video or something, because it's always in the morning that I get these messages for whatever reason. I guess it's just my creative work time. But you know, this one's based on personal change. So I think a lot of the time when we're going through something, for example, the Personal Happiness Project, I think a lot of people a lot of times have an expectation of they're going to announce that they're doing something different, whether it's I'm going on a diet, or I am going to work out at the gym, or I'm taking on the Personal Happiness Project, whatever it is. And we just expect people to respond, and we just expect people to be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna fully support you no matter what. Well, the problem with that is you have showed up for people in a certain way for a certain period of time. So you could have showed up as the one that would go on a diet and then not go on a diet, or the one that would go to the gym and then stop going to the gym. Listen, we're all guilty of that, myself included. But in order for us as human beings to expect others to treat us differently, we have to act into a different mold. So we had a mold before, that's the way that they know us, that's the way that they treat us, but it's not up to them to change the way they treat us first. It's up to us to change the way we treat ourselves first, and the way that we have our expectations of the way others should treat us. So for example, perfect example, this morning, I got a Facebook message from an old roommate of mine. It was a guy who lived with me for a couple years, you know, was just strictly a roommate, was a good person, but had this tendency to tell these long, drawn-out stories that were all fake. And I'm someone who really likes to take people at face value and believe that what they're saying is true. So it was like this game for him that every time he would tell me some crazy story and I'd be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? You know, and he'd be like, oh, I'm just messing with you. And it was really annoying. I really didn't like being treated that way, but I realize now that I acted into that identity for him. I was occurring for him that he could get away with that, and it was funny for him. It wasn't funny for me. So this morning, flash forward 5 years later, I get a Facebook message from this guy, and he's like, hey, I was just checking in to, see how you're doing, what's going on? So I was kind of catching him up a little bit on what I have going on, and I asked about him, what's new with you? And he went into this whole story about how he was homeless for a few years, and then blah, 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 and then worked at strip clubs, and then made his way back to the post office. I mean, come on. And it was at that moment that it clicked. I remembered who I was talking to. And instead of going back and forth oh, I can't believe, are you just telling me a story, this and that, and engaging in the conversation to further it, I said, well, it's great to talk to you, have a nice day. That was it. So that wasn't about him acting different. He's expected to act the way that he's going to expect. That's just his MO, that's what he does. But it's up to me if I choose to engage and, go back and forth and be like, oh, that's not nice, I can't believe that you did that and blah, blah. No, I had a choice. I just cut it off. Okay, I don't choose to engage in discussion with people like that, so I'm moving on. And I think the same can be said for any personal change in your life, whether it's a relationship change, setting those expectations of what is acceptable and what is not. You're, for lack of better words, the deal makers and deal breakers. What does the relationship have to be, or what qualities have to show up in that person, and what are absolutely unacceptable? If one thing on that list happens, it's over, it's done, it's not happening. And I think that we have a tendency to negotiate with our older versions of ourself, the self that the self that would go on a diet and then not go on a diet, the self that would go to the gym and then not go to the gym. I think when you're ready, truly ready in your heart to level up your game, it all starts here. It all starts with you first, and then you act into your new personality. You act into your new identity. You act into your new future, and slowly, not right away, but slowly, everything else in your life will line up to that. And I've seen this happen for me time and time again in my life, and I think that it's a really, really important message that I wanted to share with you guys today on I think we're day 25, maybe? I'm not sure, all the days are running together, but either way, wanted to share that with you in my mornings from the porch with my new setup here. I got like this new little remote thing to be able to turn the camera on, but it's not working right now, so whatever. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I would love to hear an experience from you guys that, you know, you changed something in your life, you got some resistance from people, but you pushed forward because it was important to you, and where you are now as a result of that decision. So, have a great day, PHP peeps, and I will talk to you later.